Hi everyone. This is kind of a follow-up to my earlier discussion about this Wacom tablet. And I was interested in how it works. And the way I understand these things work is that they produce a pulse and then it listens for the pen to respond. So there's an antenna of some sort in the pen, possibly a coil. And it produces some sort of pulse along here. Presumably there's just a circuit board bonded to this with a bunch of traces on it. I assume that would be the easiest way of doing it. And the pen has some active electronics in it which receive energy from the pulse on that, and then responds with something that indicates the button position. And this one is force sensitive, but this relatively low-end tablet doesn't do angle. Right. Anyway, so some information comes from the pen, so it pulses and it listens. And I think I know from the specs that this does it 120 times a second or something like that, 90 something, I can't remember. So it has a scan rate caused by that pulsing, and then, a Bluetooth radio to send the information back to the computer. So what I thought is, well, could I see anything about that sort of pulsing? And if you look at the oscilloscope here, you can see, of course, because the oscilloscope samples, we're not going to see every pulse, but we can see that it's pulsing. When you move the pen away, nothing. And the pulsing, if you freeze it, well, let's see if we can capture one here. Oh, try again. There we go. It's about, I usually use about 650 kilohertz is the frequency of that. I should probably turn up the sample rate on this a little bit. Oh well, doesn't matter. So we can get some idea of what it's doing. Now, what I wonder is if we change the time base here. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Whether we can start to see what those pulses look like. What did I just do? There we go. So we can see that there's a series of pulses. I'm going to go back to the trigger. Let's see if we can push the trigger up here. That stabilizes it a bit. So you can see you have a series of pulses, and then it listens. And pull it away. Put it back. Pull it away. Put it back. And all I'm using this is 10 coils of wire, 10 turns of wire. I'm just using that as an antenna to try to catch the signal. Well, it's pretty neat. Now I tried this with the iPad as well, just to see if it did anything interesting. And so you could move a pen around on that.
Sorry, I can't tell which speaker you are referring to.
Oh, thank you, Siri. But nothing from that. So we know that because of what it's done. I know the Apple Pencil communicates via Bluetooth back to the computer. So we wouldn't expect to see anything from it that would be captured. That would be far beyond the bandwidth of this oscilloscope and certainly this probe. So we wouldn't see anything from that. And I also don't know, there's got to be some sort of RF scanning going on, because there's no way that this is working capacitively, I think. So, but that won't be captured by this. But here we can see, the pulses. Pulse, listen, pulse, listen. Pretty neat. So I was thinking about that number, 650 megahertz, and going, wait a minute, that's in the AM band. So I have here a radio. That we'll set to 660 because there's a little less noise on it, or a little farther from station. We've got the tablet. It's shut off right now. The computer is across the room that it can connect to. Oh yeah. And if you listen, you can hear when it touches. Can you hear a button? Yeah. So there's the sound it makes when it's just scanning, when there's no pen. When you get the pen in, this is what I was capturing. All right, so there it's recognized the pen. When you push a button, when you touch, right? Other button sounds different too. So the signaling is pretty straightforward, right? We can figure out more or less how it works just using an AM radio. Well, I think one thing that I will definitely do is not use this tablet when I'm attempting to listen to shortwave or AM DX. I think this is probably not going to play very nice with that, but that's really quite interesting. Okay, well, again, hope you enjoyed playing along with me as I investigate these little obsessions that I have with these kinds of things. Have a good evening. Thanks.